Back at Wiksen Farms today, and it's actually raining. It's a little too late. The beans might help out a little bit. We still have some green beans, but most of the corn's kind of fully turned and drying down. It's a little too late, but it's always good to see a little rain. It's been such a dry summer. But yeah, this morning, we're gonna try to get the pickup trucks in and get those all serviced, oil change, fuel filters, because they get kind of used and abused all fall and don't really get looked at because we need them every day that we live in our pickups here. So yeah, we're gonna get our pickup trucks in. My truck especially needs an oil change and a fuel filter. The other diesel, I don't know if that needs any service or not. We'll take a look at that records and see. But yeah, we'll just get a few things done today and on the trucks, and then I think this afternoon I'm gonna try to get some radios installed in the tractor and the combine, and also some of the semi trucks. We'll maybe start pulling those in the shop and getting those ready. All right, we'll get going on it. So on the farm, both me and my dad have our own pickups, and they're both Ford F-350s. Mine is an 06 Lariat, so that's the 6-liter diesel that everybody's always scared of. And my dad has a 15, which is the 6.7. That 6.7, super great pickup. Those 6.7s are bulletproof and last forever. 6.0s, you can buy super cheap. That's why I got it, because they're notorious for some problems, but if you take care of them right, they make a great pickup. That 6-liter with a tune on it, they really come alive with a lot of power. And this one's had head gaskets done with new studs and a new oil cooler, new injectors. It has 270,000 miles on it. So I've had this pickup for a year and a half or so. Actual international diesel mechanic had it before me, and he had the cab off and the motor apart, head gaskets, head studs, and external oil coolers, antifreeze coolers, new injectors, and it actually has a brand new transmission from Ford. So it's an older truck with a lot of miles, so you can get them cheap, but it actually has been a really solid truck. So if you're, getting into a diesel pickup and you don't have 30 grand to spend on a used pickup with a ton of miles, you can get these for way, way cheaper than that. So yeah, we'll get this oil changed, and this needs a fuel filter. This also has external antifreeze filter and external oil filter, but I change those every other oil change with the main oil filter, so I think we're gonna leave those this time. And I'm gonna take a look at the tires, see if we can rotate the tires, and maybe if the front end needs any service, see if anything needs to be greased. That way they're ready to go for harvest, and that's just one thing we don't have to worry about at all during harvest. We can worry about the machinery and those repairs during harvest, because we use these trucks every day. All right, we'll get this oil drained and get this thing going. With the external oil filter, it actually has a line that comes up, and there'd normally just be a cap here, and it's dumping the return oil back into the cap, to the special cap. So we just gotta undo this line here, and then we'll undo this cap, and it's just got a drop-in cartridge filter. We'll get that done right here. Got a new Ford Motorcraft filter, which is like 26 bucks, which is ridiculous. But I've tried the other aftermarket ones, and the aftermarket ones are a universal fit, and they have a clip that fits in here, and then you put a clip in, and it's kind of a disaster could cause all kinds of problems. So I stick with the Ford Motorcraft one. Ford Motorcraft one snaps right in. It's ready to go. I got this O-ring oiled good, so that will slide in there good. This just drops in. Like that. It's got spring pressure on it. You gotta push down and turn this in. We'll get this lined up with the right direction for the for this oil return line to go onto it, and we'll tighten this up and it should be good to go. I'm going to be running this Mobil 1 full synthetic. I usually use this, or I also have used Rotella makes a T6 full synthetic that's really good. I usually, whatever locally, a lot of times I'll have a rebate. This Mobil 1 had a big rebate on it. It's expensive oil, but with these 6 liters and high miles, the oil is really key to keeping these engines going, and a good quality oil, and changing it. I try to change every 5,000 to 6,000 miles. Be pretty religious like that, and these engines will last a long time. So yeah, we'll put 15 quarts of this Mobil 1 in there, and we'll start this thing up. All right, we got the new oil filter and oil. Everything's good. I started up, runs good. So now we're gonna change the fuel filters on this. This truck's got a small filter up on top, and it's got a main filter on the frame rail down here. I think it's called a fuel conditioning module or a fuel control module. And the inside of the frame, that's got a bigger filter. We'll climb down there. We'll get that drained and pulled out and get these filters changed in this truck. All right, we're underneath the truck. This is the 4-wheel drive shaft right here. You can see it up there, that's where we're at. So we're just underneath the driver's side seat about. And then in the frame rail, here's the frame rail. We have a fuel conditioning module, and here is the filter. You can see it's got a cap on it, kind of like the oil filter. It's got a screw off, and there's a plug down here to drain water out of the system. I just cracked that and drained that to get the pressure out of the system so I don't get sprayed in the face or anything with fuel. So now we'll get a wrench on here. I think it's a big one, like a 36 millimeter or something. We'll get that crack loose, get that filter out of there, and drop in a new filter. So you can see this cap I got with that big nut, I got backed out all the way, and now it finally broke the seal. We got fuel drain. I'm just gonna let that drain into a pan here for a little bit so I don't get a huge mess. I got a rag tucked up in there. Helps keep that fuel from running in the inside of the frame rail. We'll let that drip down for a little bit, and we'll pull that cap off. So I know a lot of the videos you see on YouTube, these farms have super huge and nice shops with pits and lifts and everything. They're never crawling underneath, but we don't have that here. We do have a nice shop. It's a nice cemented shop, and it's great for working on things, but for this type of work, I'm on a creeper underneath like most of you guys are, so it gets the job done, and it's not the most comfortable, but we can get it done. I'll get this done, get this fuel filter out, and we'll be done in a second. All right, we got the old filter out. The new one just snaps in with those teeth like that. It comes with a new O-ring. O-ring goes in the back of this lip like there. Put a little bit of oil on that, and this also has an O-ring here that came with it, and I put a little bit of oil on that. And we'll get this turned in. And this also has a tab up here. That's supposed to go, it's for a little weep hole that you see right there. That tab goes in against the frame and then turn up, and it'll hit a lock. That way that weep hole's in the top position. All right, we got the side filter of the frame all buttoned up, and that's all tight. Our last filter to do is there's a small filter up on top here. Put a wrench on that nut and you spin that off, and we'll replace this filter. All right, so we've got both fuel filters in, and this is newer diesel, so it should be all electrically charged. So I should just be able to cycle a key a few times. It shouldn't be any need to drain any air lines or anything like that. Turn the key forward. You can hear the fuel and air going through the system. I'll cycle that a few times. All right, I've cycled this key a few times now, so it should all be charged. Should, I say should. Hopefully there's no issues. We'll give it a try, see if it'll start. So far, so good. We'll walk around this and check for leaks, and it should be good to go. All right, no leaks, so this is good to go. This was just a small project for this morning. We got a lot more projects to work on with the machinery, getting ready for harvest. This is just kind of something to get out of the way, so one less thing we have to worry about during harvest, and everything looks good on this. Should be good to go. We try to do all our own maintenance here and most of our own repairs, because that can be a big cost in farming. And there's not too many times that our equipment has to go to a dealer. Very rare, but we are able to fix things. And I look at sometimes we have to buy tools to get a project done, but that tool is a good investment, and then I can do that project next time. And because shop labor is not cheap, and I really enjoy being able to fix my own machinery and all my own vehicles. So we'll get this buttoned up, and then this afternoon we'll come back. We'll probably work on some more harvest equipment and get a few other things done, get a little closer to harvest. Beans are still turning. So thanks everybody for watching. Subscribe and give me a like. All right, thanks guys.